Hi guys, it's Michelle, and today's video is going to be yet another Mandela effect video for you guys. Y'all know I love the Mandela effect. I think it's fun and funny. You guys love to tag me in them. You love to send me them on Instagram. I'm obsessed with that. I love that you guys still like it. I think it's so fun and funny that it's like all over TikTok as well. I just like it. I think it's fun. I don't care. Some people think it's stupid. That's okay. Before we get into it, I really want to say you guys should follow my weight loss channel and my weight loss TikTok. I am making videos on there showing what I eat in a day, how I lose weight, what I've done to lose weight. Go follow me on those. Without further ado, let's get into it. First Mandela effect I want to talk about. I want to know if I'm crazy because this one I discovered on my own on accident. I was typing into someone. I was like, yeah, we were just vibing. I thought that was a word. V-I-B-I-N-G. Simple, right? Like, I feel like I always say that. Vibing. I feel like that's so normal to say. Apparently, it's not a word. I was really upset because I was typing the word vibing to someone and I noticed a red underline, which means that it's not a word. And this really shocked me because I swear that I've typed this before and I definitely would have noticed it because I'm always looking for Mandela effects and I'm always trying to find new ones and think of ones. So I feel like if I use a word often and all of a sudden I see a red squiggle underneath it, it's gonna raise some questions. And yeah, that's true. I have used it before. I sent a picture of the rats that I'm rat sitting on March 9th and said they were vibing today. Apparently this isn't a word and I would really love for someone else to relate to this because I always notice when something has a red underline when I type it, and this is clearly a word that I've used a lot and over text, so I'm just curious as to how I've never noticed this before. Mandela effect. It's not a word. So really upset about it. They should make it a word. And if you want more proof, vibing is not a Scrabble word either. I always look up to see if things are Scrabble words because I play bananagrams a lot and I go based off of if it's a word in Scrabble. The next Mandela effect is one you guys have been tagging me in a lot, even though I'm sure that I've talked about this before, but it is the word sherbet. Everyone and their mother always remember sherbet being spelled like this, S-H-E-R-B-E-R-T, correct? Wrong. It's always been sherbet, S-H-E-R-B-E-T. And I'm just like to know literally what the fuck is that? Like, I just don't, no one says that. Let me know what you guys remember because I thought I talked about this, but you guys have been tagging me in that one a lot. The next Mandela effect I have been tagged in so much on TikTok. This user made a TikTok basically saying how they remember the yield sign being yellow. And I 1000% agree. Yield sign apparently has never really been yellow. I understand that there are some like cases where certain places may have a couple yellow yield signs. Like, I understand. But the main yield sign, apparently for as long as I have been personally driving, has always been red and white. And I disagree with that. Like, I just so disagree with that. It's yellow. I just know it. It's not. Thinking of like all the places that I typically drive, especially in my hometown, like not LA, and literally like all of the ones that I thought were yellow are always been red and white. Like, I'll go on Google Maps and look, and they've always been red and white. So it'd be interesting if you have like yield signs near you that like, I don't know, I feel like everyone has like a yield sign that you know specifically that's like nearby your home or just on a path that you go often and you think it's yellow and it's not yellow currently. I want you to check freaking Google Maps and see like for how many years has it not been yellow, because it's driving me crazy. I think that's literally nuts. And now that I think about it, I haven't seen a yellow yield sign in so long, like that I can vividly remember and also point out on Google Maps that it's yellow. I just don't know. So let me know what you guys remember. If you do have one nearby your house that's not yellow, but you remember it being yellow, check on Google Maps. Let's see how long it was red for, because probably the whole time. All right, the next Mandela effect, I was doing research for a childhood ruining conspiracy theory video, and I noticed this episode of Spongebob this TikTok was talking about. Basically, it was talking about how this episode of Spongebob got banned because of COVID. It was an episode where a health inspector came into the Krusty Krab, found that there was an issue, and then they like all acted like they were sick, but really they weren't, and they had to quarantine, whatever. I could swear that I've seen this episode before. Like, I could swear. And it didn't air for the first time until April of 2022. And what's crazy is I'm watching this and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. Like, did SpongeBob freaking predict COVID like so many years before? Because I thought that they took it off the air because of how similar it was to coronavirus, because obviously we know that they re-air SpongeBob episodes constantly on TV, so it makes sense why they would take one that was obviously was similar to what the world was going through off the air for right now. But no, this was the first time it ever aired. A couple other episodes involving a health inspector with SpongeBob, but this one, I specifically remember this fucking guy as the health inspector like 100%. And what was crazy is I read the comments and everyone is saying, I swear I saw this way earlier than 2022. This came out in the early 2000s. Am I the only one who saw this 5 years ago? Stuff like that. I don't know how to explain that because I really do remember this episode airing. And I would love to hear you guys' opinions. If anyone else remembers this episode, please let me know because it freaked me out. Next, Mandela effect. And honestly, something I would like to do in my future Mandela effect videos is highlight some Mandela effects that I feel like we didn't talk enough about. And today's is Cheez-Its. Because I feel like when I spoke about the Cheez-It Mandela effect, it was so many years ago, and I just feel like we haven't circled back to it. Really hone in on what the fuck is that? And the answer is, I'm scared, because this Cheez-It Mandela effect, I will never forget. I think this was one Mandela effect that was almost unanimous, because I usually do send them to my friends and like family or whatever if I think that it would affect them. Cheez-Its is something that like low-key affects like everyone I know pretty much, because who doesn't love a Cheez-It? But specifically my friend Mandy is like known for being obsessed with Cheez-Its, like it's kind of her thing. That girl's always got a box of Cheez-Its somewhere. This was one that was so unanimous. When I shared this with my friends, they all were like, it's always been Cheez-Its, like Cheez-Its with a Z. But no, it's always just been called Cheez-It. What do you mean by that? And I understand the concept of, okay, we wouldn't be calling it Cheez-It. Like regardless of if it's Cheez-It or Cheez-Its, we're probably gonna still call it Cheez-Its because we just pluralize things naturally. Obviously you're probably gonna eat more than one Cheez-It, so therefore you're having Cheez-Its. But I do feel like the box looks strange to me even. And yeah, like I said, pretty much everyone in my life agreed Cheez-Its is the one, so just felt like we had to reiterate that one because I don't think we talked about that one for long enough, because that is a Mandela effect I genuinely think about like all the time. Probably, if not more, than the Berenstain Bears one, because that's also really freaky. All right, the next Mandela effect has to do with 7-Eleven. I was driving by a 7-Eleven. I noticed, by the way, can someone explain to me why 7-Elevens in California are not gas stations? I think this was something I noticed because I drive an electric car, so I don't get gas. And this was something I noticed because there was one point where I was like renting a car for like a minute that had gas in it, and I needed to go to a gas station, and I was like, oh, I'll just go to 7-Eleven, because in Florida 7-Elevens are gas stations, but here they are not, and I just don't understand. What are you going to 7-Eleven for if not a gas station? I don't know if that's just in Los Angeles or if it's all of California, but please let me know your local 7-Eleven and if it is a gas station. I was driving by a 7-Eleven and I noticed the N in 11 is not capitalized, but literally all of the other letters are. And I do feel like this is a Mandela effect. Why would they do that, first of all? But second of all, I remember it being all capitalized and looking very nice and put together. I know what you guys think, because I personally don't remember for sure, but I don't like it. The last Mandela effect is something that I've been thinking about for quite some time. Like, quite some time. Everybody Hates Chris. I love the show Everybody Hates Chris. It was one of my favorite shows to watch on Nickelodeon as a kid. I feel like they always played it on Nick at Night. Like, same vibe as George Lopez, like that kind of late night TV. So I remember the actor Tyler James Williams, who plays Chris in the show. I remember seeing him in other things like as I was growing up, and I was continuously getting confused why he was not aging. Like, I kept being like, he's not growing up. Like, how is he so young? Like, I just never thought that it made sense based on what I thought the timeline of Everybody Hates Chris was. I'd love to know if someone else has experienced this Mandela effect. Like, he should be very old by now, but he's not, because the show actually came out in 2005. I swear I watched it before 2005, But even when I was watching it, I always thought it was like an older show. Like the same way that like Malcolm in the Middle is an older show and like George Lopez is like 2002. I thought it was like a 2000, like year 2000 to 2002 time show. I'm not even kidding. I've been thinking about this Mandela effect for so long and I didn't even think it was a Mandela effect. I was just confused. I thought maybe he just looked very young, which he does look great. But I was just always confused why he wasn't growing up. Please let me know if anyone else remembers this show being out way before 2005. Because I swear I watched it before 2005. And the timeline doesn't even add up where I remember watching it was like my old house. And I didn't even live there in 2005. Like we had already moved out of this house in 2005. So confused because I remember watching it in my first house that I lived in Florida, which we moved out of in like 2004. Please tell me that someone else feels this way about Everybody Hates Chris because I swear it was earlier than 2005. 2005 seems way too recent. Please let me know. But that is it for today's video. If you guys liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of these Mandela effects. If you have any other personal Mandela effects, I would love to hear them in the comments below. But that is it. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram because I'm always posting really dope ass shit on there. Subscribe for new videos every week, and I will see you guys later. Bye!